Hey everybody, welcome into Road Beers, the first off-topic Lettermen Row podcast. I am Austin Ward, joined by my good friend Jeremy Birmingham. We are both in our respective quarantines.
I'm in my bunker.
In the bunker. Birm finally decided to talk me into doing something that was not just going to be solely Ohio State football related. And I kind of thought about it. I was like, maybe this would be the perfect way to finally convince this small number of YouTube commenters that think that we hate each other, that we really do get along. Birm, why? Yeah. Well, first, why are we doing this thing? Why are we doing it?
Well, here's the thing. We live in a very serious world, and I think occasionally we just need a chance to bring the personality out, unleash the inner beasts that we are. And right now, why not? We are obviously going to be in a very specifically non-sporty time. And I think that for the majority of people who follow us on Twitter, social media, Lettermen Row, YouTube, from spot to spot over the years, I don't know, maybe they care who we are as people. Maybe they don't. If they don't, they won't listen. If they do, then great. If they don't, cool also. It's a cathartic thing to just kind of be able to shoot the proverbial poop with people in this very weird time when we're all just sitting in our houses not being able to reach the outside world. So why not, right?
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, well, we've got a little more time because we're not going to the Woody. We're not covering spring ball. That's fine. We're trying to kill some time like everybody else is right now. We were talking about doing this, it seems like it was about a year ago that we were in North Carolina and Virginia, but you really kind of wore me down on our road trip when we were having some road beers last week in Charlotte to do this. And I kept coming back to this fact. Who cares what we have to say? Maybe this will be the only episode we ever do. Maybe I'm wrong. It's just wild to me that anybody would find us as entertaining as you and I find our pairing.
Yeah, but see, I think ultimately for me, that's kind of the thing. I don't care if people don't listen. I'm gonna talk about this stuff regardless.
Yeah. And
you can listen or you cannot, or we can talk about it here, or I can talk about it by myself because I'm still gonna be sitting at home for these next few weeks or months drinking Coke Cherry Vanilla Zeros.
Yeah.
Those are called CVZs for anybody out there. There's also, of course, the OVZ, the Orange Vanilla Zero, the traditional just Z.
Yeah.
So as we embark on World War Z, it's totally different for Austin and I because there's a whole lineage, a whole vocabulary of just beverages for road trips. There's the BA.
World War Z is when you go to the Woody and they don't have any zeros in the Coke machine.
Yes, because you see 50 Ohio State media members climbing up the walls wondering how the hell they're supposed to get any caffeine in their system when there's no Z's. Because despite the fact that we're all fat, we all try really hard to only drink zeros, as though we're in some way doing a better thing for ourselves.
Well, I have to drink the zeros because I drink so many road beers like that.
You know who doesn't drink zeros?
Tell me.
Chives.
Oh yeah, Chives doesn't drink soda. I mean,
yeah. Chives. For everyone listening, there's Chives. Hey, everyone.
This is called a Chive By.
This is the
Chive. It's a perfect segue for a Chive By.
Just for the record, you guys are talking about how you wonder if people care what you have to say, but when I first joined the team last year, I was instantly entertained.
This is
I was
Spencer
instantly
Holbrook,
entertained.
AKA
I was instantly
Chives,
entertained by you guys.
So
Very
Chives, everyone.
All right, he's trying to tell a story here. Let him do it.
My B. Go ahead.
Instantly, I was pretty entertained by you guys just because the stupidity is awesome. And so, I think people are going to like this show a lot more than you guys think they will.
I think that people get a sense, Austin, I think, of when they watch Lettermen Live or practice reports or any of those kind of things that you're Captain Serious.
Yeah.
I think. and I don't give a shite about that. So like I'm just kind of me, and it looks like I'm having an attack of my hands every time I'm talking or whatever. But who cares? Ultimately, we're just here to talk, and I don't think that there's a better spot to talk about right now, a better thing that we could possibly talk about than to introduce to people listening to this why Spencer Holbrook is nicknamed Chives.
I thought we were going to save that for not the first 5 minutes.
No, I think it's very important because he doesn't get called Spencer unless we're in our professional voices.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people know who Chives is so that they can make sure that on social media and stuff, he changes his handles and to Chives.
Let me make sure. I'm going to have to. He's going to try and jump in here and ruin this story. But we were on the way, the three of us, and part of the inspiration for Road Beers, of course, is the hours upon hours that we spend in the car together traveling, and all of the very weird conversations and inside jokes that we have along the way. So every road trip winds up with some sort of bizarre theme, and we didn't really know for sure what it was going to be when we left for Rutgers. What was that, last November? Feels like 10 years ago. We left on Thursday to try and chip away on the travel, and we were going to get...
No, wait, let's back that up. Why did we really leave on Thursday?
Well, we were going to do work on Friday. There's multiple reasons here. Obviously, I build in places that I want to go drink beer into our road trips. I think that's what you're hinting at. So we were going to go to Trogs in Hershey, Pennsylvania, chop up the travel, and then we're going to get there early to New Jersey, go see Luke Whippler on Friday, do actual work because we do a lot of that when we mix it in with our fun. So we had to scramble. We only had, 45 minutes at Trogs.
Yeah.
I was able to get 2 flights in a hurry, and then we loaded up with, I don't know, a case. We bought a case of beer to go before they closed. So we were going to go back to our hotel, and you were working, and you requested a beverage from the refrigerator. You asked Spencer to get you a glass, I believe, and he stands up at the edge of the couch, so he's about 3 feet away, says, "What do I look like? Chives?" And I said, usually it's a little more elaborate. I'm sorry we don't have video right now for the hand movements, but picture like jazz hands, Chives, and
jazz hands, and also like exasperated shoulder movement. Like, ooh, what do I look like? Like he could have been like doing a tap dance with a big flourish at the end.
Yeah, and so I'm standing there. I'm like, what did he mean to say Chives? Did he trip over his words? What else was going on here? Chives, like what the hell is Chives? And we don't know how to react to this. And then Chives, he explains that it's some joke from an episode where a butler of some Nickelodeon show that came out when we were both 20 years old. How would we have ever seen this? And everyone, like me, Chives, you found like one person who thinks that they would have got that joke. Is that right?
Yeah, just one. But once I showed the YouTube clip, it made a little more sense. But yes, I probably should have chosen a different name, and now I'm stuck with this nickname.
But what was it about? I mean, okay, for everyone, the uninitiated, those of you who have grown up without a butler, like everyone, he meant, of course, he was referencing, of course, Jeeves, but he went with Chives. But here, the funny thing about this is not that he said Chives hoping we would catch his own inside joke. He said Chives because he thought it was Jeeves. and then had to backtrack himself and say, wait a second, why am I thinking Chives? And then thought to himself, I'm thinking Chives because of this TV show. It wasn't like he was trying to catch us with the joke.
This is true, Mr. Brim.
I mean, that's why it's funny. It's not because he was one step ahead of the game here. He was literally saying Chives instead of Jeeves. That's so anyway, since that day he's been Chives, and
but that wasn't the only joke on the Rutgers trip. It's just the one that stuck the most.
Well, it's going to be the most permanent joke that we ever have from any road trip. Usually they come and go. Like I can barely remember them the second we get home, because I got to get ready for the next one whenever we hit the road again. But this one,
what the Rutgers one was, though.
I know, but I'm only going to ever focus on.
All right, that's fair.
Hit us with it, Chives.
The Lubranos. Don't forget the Lubes.
Yeah, we'll see. But Rutgers just has lasting memories because Birm and I had to carry that over from.
Right. That's actually a residual inside joke.
Yeah. So that
one was from the Ryan Ginn episode.
That one I can't really count you in on because this would be the second time. Wow, let me turn off these notifications here, as we obviously have some difficulties recording the show for the first time. Sorry about that. I think it's funny though that you call me Captain Serious, and that's a nickname that
I don't call you it.
Well, you think
the world thinks it. That's why they think That's why they think we hate each other.
All right, so if I just
of course everyone thinks I hate Tim May too. So
okay, why do you hate us?
Who?
Why do you hate us so much, Birm? Everyone wants to know.
Well, I mean, I didn't know we were going to go down this path, but if we're gonna get dark, let's get dark. I don't hate anyone, really. I think it's funny because the world just. I have like a I don't know, resting jerk face or whatever. Like I don't sit there and smile like when I'm not talking. I don't generally smile while I'm talking. So like I'm trying so hard to look like I'm like really seriously invested in what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
That it may because all I'm thinking about is, ooh, when can I talk next? Ooh, when can I talk next? So I don't really care. Like I'm listening, of course, so I can jump in whenever, but like I don't have a way about me. I don't have a countenance that says, you know what? I'm interested, but I'm also not angry. Like I don't know. Maybe I need to find that face. I don't know where to find a face.
I really just wanted to dive into the few like personal things that we hear because like that one has been going on now for the full 2 years that Lettermen Row has been in existence, and you and I have worked together beforehand, but we weren't as frequently on video, and that was a brief, harrowing experience at the previous place that we worked.
There were weird moments.
Yeah, but it's like that part is funny to me that like even Allie, my wife, she would read the YouTube comments because I never ever pay attention to that stuff. I'm sorry to admit that to all of you right here, right now, but I don't have the time for that. So Allie likes to read them. She thinks they're funny. Sometimes you read them. You like to be involved in that and pay attention to what's going on there. And it's like, and Spencer will tell us, what people are talking about there. If there's technical issues that we need to address or whatever, but it kept coming up like that you and I didn't get along or that I hated you or you hated me. And it's like, I was like, if these people only knew the amount of hours that we spend together, we couldn't possibly do this job and run Lettermen Row if we didn't have a really good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a whole lot of opportunity. I mean, honestly, there's not even really time to hate each other. I mean, the reality is 95% of our conversations involve sports, pop culture, or beer.
Right.
And the other 5% of the conversation doesn't allow for us to be cordial, then we're probably just terrible people because 95%. If 95% of your conversations are about sports, movies, music, and alcohol, I mean, I think that it's a pretty safe spot to start as far as just like where you go. I mean, because the other 5% of the time could basically just be like, no, I mean, in all honesty, the other 5% of the time is just us asking or talking about directions to get someplace.
Well,
which obviously no. I need.
Boy. That was a chive by so even last week, once we even got back to Columbus, Birm is got to be the most confused driver in the history of the planet, and he loves to drive. So that's really a problem for me because I have to constantly be sitting shotgun while he makes the wrong turn. We got even back to Columbus last week, and he decided to go the wrong direction on a road that he's been down 100 times. Any Saturday that we show up at a stadium, it's guaranteed that he's going to go either down the wrong way over one way, or completely around the wrong side of a stadium, or back out of Lincoln, back towards Omaha. I don't. Why is it, Birm, that you struggle so much with directions? You had to sit there with your GPS on all last week, and you still miss turns. I've never seen anyone struggle so bad.
I don't know. I guess because I'm thinking about the world, hot wings, and
yeah.
And sometimes I want so badly to go a different way. I'm tired. I'm not the type of person, honestly, who just likes to be told, do this or do that or go here.
Then why do you even use the GPS? You refuse to turn it off.
I like to be told where to go. Mostly, that's the primary reason. But no,
those are two conflicting ideas there.
The fact is that sometimes I get distracted just by the ridiculousness of what we're doing. Sometimes remember last year when I got lost turning into the Woody, and I've been there 7,000 times in my life, and I still went the wrong way. And I still have to tell myself. I still have to tell myself to this day, okay, don't turn down this road, turn down the next one. There's no there's no muscle memory involved there for me at this point when it comes to the Woodrow and my travels. And to be honest, as I did last week when we were at the gas station in West Virginia, sometimes I just do it on purpose to piss you off because I think it's funny. But I guess ultimately, this is why I work from home most of the time.
Because you would get lost if you had to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I've never got lost walking to the bathroom, but I mean, it happens rarely.
Yeah.
Very
Austin,
rarely.
Yeah.
Can you tell the world about Birm and my first road trip with Birm going to Indiana? Because I think you tell this better than anyone.
I don't remember this. What happened? Was I there?
Birm, Austin, you can take it from here, but I want to revisit when Birm took us through Hilliard instead of just getting on 270 to get to Bloomington.
I was going the way that the GPS said was fastest. The end. Very simple explanation. Moving on. Next topic.
It's a good point though, because Chives is getting his first taste of it, and we go to Indianapolis 15 times a year because Ohio State has a standing reservation in the Big Ten championship game for football, NFL Combine. They're going to, Purdue some years, Indiana. It's pretty simple to get from Columbus to Indianapolis. I think all of you who have ever lived in Ohio or Indiana know that you probably need to make one turn and you're going to get there. It'd be very hard to mess that up. But we're only half a mile from my residence here in Northwest Columbus by the Ohio State Airport, and Birm decides to drive us down 33 through Hilliard. Birm, there's 100 different ways that you could have got on the interstate to head west to Indianapolis, and yet your over-reliance on the GPS and mandatory trying to follow where they tell you to go, it killed us. It absolutely killed us. And Chives has got to sit there. It's like, is this what I'm getting into constantly?
Hey, you know what? Tell Chives to get old enough to drive a freaking rental car, and then he can take us. Okay.
Okay. By the time this quarantine is over, he might.
Meanwhile, baby boy's in the back seat with a diaper sucking on a baba. Okay, Daddy's got to drive. I have to drive us there. Okay, I'm responsible for all your lives. All right, and guess what? I'm going to go the way the GPS tells me to go because the GPS said this way's faster, and so my only concern, the only concern I have is getting us where we're going as fast as possible.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Until we get there, then I turn the wrong way. That's because I'm just checking out the surrounding areas. I've got it all figured out. It's like when I go out to eat at a restaurant, I have to face the door, right? I can't like sit with my back to the door because I have to be able to scope out the scene. So similarly, when we're driving somewhere, I like to make sure I check every corner that the building is sitting on by doing a complete drive around the block at least once, sometimes twice.
Yeah, really, really do appreciate you keeping us safe.
Yeah, it's all about just due diligence. Pretty cool.
So, how has COVID-19 quarantine been treating the Birmingham household?
Well, it's not easy. We have 3 dogs, and they're sort of themselves and normal. But my wonderful wife has 2 daughters that are my stepdaughters, and they're less wonderful than the dogs sometimes. Having to learn how to be teachers whilst trying to handle this job and everything else. It's not quite as bad as you'd think. I mean, they have a packet, they have things they're supposed to be doing, but at the same time, you feel like you're in a position where you kind of need to be over the top and making sure they're doing stuff, because otherwise they're just going to sit around all day, and then you feel like, which is fine, but honestly, it's not even that they're sitting around that would bother me. It's the fact that when they're sitting around, they're constantly asking for stuff.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I need this. I'm like, well, get it yourself. You're almost 14 years old.
That's sort of been the problem with Liberty and having a 2.5, almost 3-year-old now, is that she has already started asking for stuff, but she actually can't get most of it herself.
Yeah, that's awful.
So both Allie and I, have been working from home. We kept her home from daycare this week, which I think will be closed by next week anyway. We won't have that option, and it's just, man, it's wild. You get a new appreciation for what you're paying for with your daycare, your care provider, or teachers, and what they have to do every day. Because man, this is just brutal. I'm used to working from home and having it to myself all day long, and it's really easy to get through the day. This is I really hope that this doesn't extend like everybody else, that much longer into May or June. But
it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, there's no we're not going to get all serial here, but I mean, there's no way for us. We know the girls aren't going back to school. Like, they're just not going back to school till September. So we're just trying to find ways to be to make sure they're doing their work, but also to make sure they're not hating life. And then there's Spencer, who, Chives just bought a PS4 last night and is diving deep into the world of online gaming. So life is hard for everyone, is what I'm saying.
It would be great to.
I have a PS4, but I just don't ever get to play it.
Spencer obviously has a full-time job now, and he works really hard. We give him obviously we joke about the Chives nickname, and we really do love having him on our team, which is why we joke about him so much. But man, it'd be great to not have to have the kids running around or the dogs and be 23 and just finish work and be quarantined and play video games.
But also, I'm training a cat that has been in my home for 3 days now.
Wow.
So
Did you name it? Did you name it COVID? The COVID cat?
No, his name is Theo.
You should.
He's a cat that my girlfriend and I now have, and he was scared the first couple of days he was in the apartment, and now he's just kind of becoming, ornery, and so it's not all rainbows and sunshine.
Because it's a cat, Chives. It'll never love you.
No, seriously, Chives, and I'm going to say this, and I want to be very clear. I'm not one of those people who is anti-feline. Like, I like cats.
Oh.
But I also like myself enough to not have one. So
he told me about this in Indianapolis, that it was coming, and I feel like he's never been more scared to admit something to me than the fact that he was about to get a cat. Because I am anti-feline. I I'm glad that people have pets anywhere. You should. They're magical. I really miss our dog. Hopefully we'll have another one to fill out our house soon
Hey,
enough.
I've told you whenever you're ready, Bree is.
No,
All, Chives, I'm
no.
sending you over a link in Slack right now to the Franklin County Dogs Department. Where you can look and see what dogs are available for rescue in Columbus. And why don't you just do yourself a favor and dive all the way in here, okay? Because here's the thing, and I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, Chives. You and the gal pal, you guys are thinking to yourselves, hey, let's get an animal. Let's see how we get along here. You're going to be stuck living here. We're in this quarantine. We may as well be pet parents. Cats don't count. Cats don't count as pet parents because you are the cat slave.
Hey, do you want to know something? Cats are cheaper than dogs in the rent category.
Do you know why they're cheaper than dogs?
And my cat was free.
Chives.
Free.
Look at him trying to justify a cat.
Remember, you get what you pay for, Chives, okay?
I was attacked by a cat when I was 4 or 5 years old. Just scratched all to hell, and I've never forgiven. Maybe it was just one cat, but you can't know for sure. That might be the way that they all secretly live their lives. No, so
it's not even a secret. It is a public display of hatred for all people. Yeah. There's this thing that I've heard before that dogs, the way a dog thinks versus the way a cat thinks. A dog, you pet a dog, you feed a dog, you let a dog outside, you take a dog for walks, you pet a dog, you do all these things, and the dog thinks to itself, wow, that person is the greatest thing in the world. They do all that for me. And a cat thinks of it this way. You feed a cat, you let a cat out, you pet a cat, you coddle a cat, and the cat thinks, wow, I must be the best thing in the whole world. And that is the difference. There are plenty. Okay, look, $18 dogs here. Chives, this is the time to find yourself a true life partner, a true fur pet. Oh, look at that one. She's adorable.
But you better stop before you wind up with number 4.
I've told you that Bree is ready for you to enter the Shea Ward whenever.
No.
All right.
Your dogs are not capable of living with liberty, and I have been a lifelong miniature Schnauzer owner, and that will be our next step. We tried to get a rescue in that regard last week. Came up short. Back in the
now.
What's that?
Do you have a name picked out for the next one already, or?
Well, we kept the last rescue. Gibson, we left his name. We thought it fit. It was awesome. He was named. They found him running around the streets of Nashville, so they named him after the guitar manufacturer there, and we left it. As long as they know that name already and answer to it with the rescues, we're usually I would be content to leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad name though. That's unique at least. I mean when I rescued Psycho, her name was Coco. And I was like, I don't think that. Yeah, okay. So my husky, her name is Psycho, and I kept the last syllable, because dogs only really hear 1 or 2 syllables anyway. So that's where I went. But then with Mac and Bree, we went with things that are named for cheeses, basically Mac and cheese, and then Bree, of course, because. Like 95% of our conversations are about sports, pop culture, and alcohol. But in my house with my wife, 70% of our conversation is about when can we next eat cheese. So that's really it's an homage. Spencer. So look, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you are giving this cat a home, but be advised that the cat is going to take over your home and eventually you'll be living on the street.
I would say be prepared as well, because it will definitely attack you at some point, and I just hope that you can survive. I was lucky enough to escape my encounter with a very dangerous cat at a young age, but we're not all that lucky. So I wish you the best of luck in that regard.
What do you guys think? Go ahead, Spencer.
Is this it sounds more like a fear than a hatred.
It's a catervention.
Well, I mean, it's both.
We just hit the 30-minute mark, and Birm made
again. I like cats. Okay, like I'm going to be very clear. I like cats. I think cats are interesting creatures. But I've learned that I don't want an animal that I have to like earn its love. Like I just don't. You know, to me, the point of having an animal is that you come home, no matter how big of a dickhead you are that day to other people, the dog still loves you. I like that.
So Chives brings up a good point. We are going to have to eventually get some sort of counter, the Tate counter for your puns, which you will love more than almost anything in the world.
That's true.
You've already made one there. Chives will have to get on that. The other part is when all three of us were just now talking over each other. Eventually, we're going to be back in Lettermen Row HQ, and we'll be able to have these conversations face to face, and won't have to just wonder when the next person is going to talk. So I hope that as time goes on, this show will get a lot better than what it is today, and that we can.
Let me ask you this before we go here.
I'm not ready to go. We haven't even talked about the Taylor Swift bracket yet.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how much time we're really trying to invest, but what is like the one thing right now in the whole coronavirus blabbity gook that's happening that you guys find the most annoying?
Most annoying.
Yeah, like I mean, because everyone's going through the same thing. We're all dealing with the repercussions of this stuff, but like, is there a certain thing or like not opinion necessarily? Because I know the opinion that's going to be annoying to people is the one that's like, oh, who cares? It's just the flu, doop, doop, doop.
Yeah.
But I just could not possibly care any less than I do about which celebrities get the coronavirus.
I actually, I think I disagree with that because, I mean, some of them are such fringe. Like, who is it? The mom from the Kardashians or whatever took a test and was negative. I probably didn't need that update. What's her name? Jenner.
Her name is Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner. Yeah. So that shows about how much attention I pay to the Kardashians. But I mean, that showed up in my timeline on Twitter. But I think that if celebrities didn't get it, like think about one of the turning points when we were in the car last Wednesday, driving back from North Carolina, and the whole world is getting ready to shut down. Think about what tipped it: the NBA having a positive case with Rudy Gobert, and when Tom Hanks announced on Twitter that he had it. Like,
yeah, but that's because everyone likes Tom Hanks.
Well, yeah, but people wouldn't have started taking it as seriously, I don't think, unless high-profile cases existed. Because the odds at that point last Wednesday that you knew somebody who was infected or exposed were infinitesimal. There weren't enough of them. They weren't even testing anybody really in the U.S. at that point. So you couldn't put a human face on COVID-19 and the coronavirus until Tom Hanks is like, "Hey, I've got it," or Idris Elba or whoever, "I've got it," and then people are like, "Oh my God,
you've got it!"
Like until these people got it. I think that's what it took for people to take it seriously.
Like, I mean, I understand it from that point of view. And somebody brought it up to me the other day on Twitter, or somebody mentioned that like it took Magic Johnson getting HIV for people to take AIDS seriously. Like and I'm like, yeah, because everyone stopped having unprotected sex.
Yeah, it never happens anymore.
So, like, I mean, I'm like, okay, well, maybe. I mean, I think it's obviously it moves the dial for the news and stuff, and I just don't care. Like, I couldn't possibly. We're all in a position where you're risking exposure to this virus wherever you go. It's everywhere. It's probably been around for a lot longer than the last 2 weeks. So. I don't know, man. I just want people to like be normal.
I think
I've got
the thing that's most. All right, hit it.
Chive.
I am so annoyed with the amount of people my age still going on spring break.
Oh, preach!
Did you see that video yesterday? Look, man, if I die, I die. I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
Like, thank you,
Bruh.
Chad. Get back to drinking Natty Lights with Brad on the beach, and when you get coronavirus, do not complain that you can't get tested.
That is a very Chad attitude. It's a
These-
Chad-attitude.
Ding.
There's two. These idiots just think they can still go on spring break and they're invincible and they can just go wherever they want. It's like Florida was one of the first states to declare a state of emergency. So where do all these college kids flock to? Florida for spring break. Like, come on, guys. My generation is so damn stupid.
Florida should be under martial law for 1,000 different reasons, but the state of it can't happen to me, or it won't happen to me, or if it does happen to me, it doesn't really matter that much, is fascinating. Fascinating.
That has been hard to believe, but that's not even just related to spring break people. I think we all know that there are adults in Columbus, Ohio, and not heading down to Florida that are still, the bars were packed last weekend right after it became clear that the last thing you should do is be at a bar. And I've kind of wondered if a full 14-day shutdown was necessary for it, but I don't make those calls, and I'm not an expert on any of that stuff. I'm trying not to weigh in one way or the other. I think the thing I'm getting most tired of is seeing and hearing about how toilet paper is sold out and not on shelves. I don't understand it. B, I think the jokes are pretty well worn out. And C, why are people doing it? Why is all the toilet paper gone?
I don't know. Go ahead, Spence.
All the good jokes have been wiped away, right, Austin?
Oh my God, no.
Oh my God, that is just shitty, Spencer.
Letting Birm influence your jokes. I mean, tell me that you weren't in Athens at this time last year making terrible puns like that, Chives. I mean, did he do this? Does he make you do this?
There were some puns, and I've always been like a dad joke kind of guy. Like, I really enjoy the puns of like the general dad joke. But yes, Birm has made it even more evident that I am like way ahead of my time as far as like I'm 23, but I'm actually making jokes like I have two 16-year-old kids.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a big fan. Big fan of that.
I don't.
But the thing is, I think I've gone to Kroger. We live literally a 4-minute walk from Kroger.
Literally?
No, I mean literally. I mean, that's the correct application. It is a 4-minute walk. And I think I've been there, or Angie's been there 15 times in the last 2 weeks, and I still can't find pizza rolls.
Oh boy.
So like while we're talking about stuff, people being put out, I mean, I can't find pizza rolls.
I went on Sunday to get some provisions, assuming that they were going to shut down for the week. Tons of pizza rolls at Giant Eagle. We're fully stocked over here, so wow. Boy, that's you hate to see it.
Well, which kind though? Because I mean, it's got to be the Totino's pizza rolls, because any other kind is basically trash on a bag.
Why would I get? You said pizza rolls.
Oh, right.
That's true. I'm not going to talk about.
He didn't say pizza nuggets.
I'm not talking about. Yeah, thank God he did.
Oh my gosh! Do not talk about pizza nuggets. How many frozen pizzas did you buy for this pandemic? Any?
4.
See, Angela went to the store. She's like, "Oh, I bought all these pizzas. We're good." I'm like, and I look in the freezer and there's 3 pizzas, and I'm like, "We're good for what?"
You're good for one evening.
Like we're not prepared for anything.
Yeah. So you asked what flavor we got. Allie, she loves the traditional cheese, just no flavor, and she hates pepperoni on any kind of pizza, so she doesn't get those. But I definitely bought some pepperoni pizza rolls. I was tempted they had a new one that I hadn't had before, pepperoni and bacon. But sometimes she'll spice it up with triple cheese, but she just likes basic. She's a basic bee when it comes to pizza rolls, and really pizza as a whole. I don't know if I should talk about her that way on this first episode of Road Beers when it's also our wedding anniversary. But
it's your anniversary. Congrats!
Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't even know. Oh my gosh, we're sharing this together, you guys.
I know it's a really big day.
Jake Martin left Ohio State on your anniversary.
Yeah, he did. Like that's boy. What a turn of events that was for Chris Holtmann. It's supposed to be the first day of the tournament. Chives was looking forward to covering his first NCAA tournament as a professional journalist. Then on the day that it's supposed to tip, Chris Holtmann loses DJ Carton. Didn't even get a full year out of him. So we actually do talk about some. We maybe will talk about some sports on this show. Like that's going to be that's one of the biggest like flash in the pan, like crazy, seasons. That was such a huge deal when Holtmann landed him because like. This is him doing his thing on the recruiting trail. It's starting to build momentum, and then poof, like almost all of that class might get wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously don't talk as much about basketball on the site as we probably could, but for those of you that are not aware, I actually like basketball more than football in a lot of cases.
We're admitting a lot of stuff on the first show?
Yeah, I mean we're just deep diving. So it's difficult to understand how these recruiting classes in the last few years, and I took a shot at the 2015 class on Twitter earlier today, but that class and then this 2019 class, like how the heck do things go so wrong so quickly? And it's so weird because in basketball, if you miss on one or two guys, it's like your entire class is ruined.
Right.
Oh, well, who cares? It's basketball, schmasketball. Basketball doesn't exist. The world's falling apart. Everyone's dying.
It's pretty crazy that the tournament, everybody kind of waits for that. You look at the way our coverage worked out, and Chives did a pretty good job with that, with the limitations that he has when we have to devote almost all of our resources to football. But like, this is the time of year when everyone's really ready for it, and everybody wants to take off work, and it's an odd feeling. The last 8 days have been odd, of course, but today's that one more reminder. This is an event that everyone kind of traditionally would stay home for anyway, and self-quarantine to go watch their brackets implode. And you take that stuff out, it's just like day after day that you're stripping away normal life. And, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like, what else can you do? I mean, that's the hard part. I mean, if we're going to really talk about it, that is the challenge here. Like, what else are you supposed to do? We can't just be like, okay, everyone just go do what you're going to do and let 3 million people die.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm a believer in some cases when it comes to, if something's going to happen eventually, it should happen immediately. And especially when you're dealing with something that's with the public health, like the sooner everyone just bites the bullet and says, okay, we're going to do this, then the sooner we can get back to normal life. And I don't want college football to be pushed back or delayed. And I think we're, the more stubborn we are about it, the more likely it is it's going to happen.
I think, one thing I do agree about, and it's tied to celebrities a little bit, but more to our college football world. Like if Ed Ogeron is being the voice of reason and going and talking publicly, Ryan Day, did it from his own Twitter account yesterday. Chris Holtmann for Ohio State did that as well for basketball purposes. But like Coach O and Ryan Day, the message just has to be to these people. If you don't take it seriously, you might not have college football. Like that's all you need to say. Stay home right now for 2 weeks. And even these guys that Chives is talking about doing keg stands down in Florida on the beach and being idiots. Like you don't want to be able to go tailgate in the Horseshoe next year so you can go on spring break. I know it's hard to think about the future for some people, but if people aren't proactive, there's a real chance that would impact college football season. And that trip, hey, I want to go to Oregon in week 2 for an exciting non-conference game and the road beer opportunities that we could have in Portland and Eugene are off the charts. I'll stay at home as long as it takes to make sure that happens. Yeah. Obviously we're financially invested in that and we can't afford for college football to go away. But for anyone who like me, I prefer college football to, anything, definitely basketball. It's my livelihood and I love it. and then I would want as a fan to do anything I could to help just to bring back college football.
Yeah, and I just want Chad and Brad and all those guys to just, relax, man.
Yeah,
Chill out.
Just chill, bro.
Just chill, bruh. Bruh, chill.
Bruh.
Hey, random.
Oh yeah.
How much cooler was AC Slater than everyone else on Saved by the Bell? Like, isn't it sort of weird that Zach was such a poser? Let's be very clear. Zach Morris was a poser.
A poser. Okay.
Spencer, Saved by the Bell was a very popular TV show.
I know.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, I do agree.
Max
Zach
was that version.
That.
Boy, I don't know how to process that description of Zach, but I think I was going to put it in context for Chives that he could understand it. Like Max and his magic tricks. He was Saved by the Bell's version of Chives.
All right.
He's a reference that almost nobody would understand.
I mean, that is difficult. That's difficult. That's difficult.
And I say that as somebody who still has no idea what show Chives is from.
Who do you think that Kelly and Zach were like the best couple, or do you think that Zach and Lisa was a better combo?
Well, what about Zach and Tori?
I don't count Tori.
Okay.
Because she's not a primary cast member.
Well, she was briefly.
Yeah, but briefly because everyone knew she sucked, so they got her out.
That wasn't what happened. They had contract issues with Kelly and Jesse. They did.
Sure.
You need to do your research on the Tory paradox, man.
That's a timeline I don't even agree to. I don't even believe it exists.
Do you remember when I sent you that fake script about?
Yes, Saved by the Bell. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to share that with some people at some point. That was, I went down a. Boy, you've really got me started here now because I went down a deep hole, rabbit hole of Saved by the Bell and the Tory paradox sometime in the middle of last season. You were working and I was reading 15 different stories about what happened during the last season of Saved by the Bell. That's neither here nor there, I guess. The best couple is obviously Zach and Kelly. It's the best. That's the best television couple in the history of scripted cinema.
Holy mackerel! That is a bold statement.
Oh, who are you going to throw in there? Jim and Pam?
No, certainly not. Jim and Pam are awful together. Pam basically ruined Jim's character. That's also neither here nor there. The best television couple of all time is one that you haven't even watched the show, which is Jess and Nick on New Girl. So,
okay,
that's a good take, Birm.
Do your homework. Do your homework on that, son.
Well, I have a lot of time available right now to binge watch. What else are you watching right now?
I am watching The Outsider on HBO because I'm a Stephen King freak, and that's really it. Because we're trying to decide where to go, if there's stuff we want to rewatch or stuff we want to wait for new stuff to come out. I have started watching Hunters on Amazon Prime, which is also very good. But I'm only one episode into that, but that show is that's a pretty crazy one. So, what about you, Chives? What are you watching? Doug,
the girlfriend and I just started watching Parks and Rec because she's never seen it. We actually just watched the Sandberg episode.
To be able to go into that, wow! To be able to just binge watch Parks and Rec straight through and never seen it, that's a golden opportunity right there.
Yeah, so she's enjoying it. We got through The Office because she had seen most of it, but not all of it. And we're waiting on the full season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine to finish up, and then we're gonna binge that full season at once.
Yeah, Patron Saint.
Chives, you need to provide your opinion. Who is the best scripted television couple on a TV show of all time?
So Jess and Nick is usually my safe bet because I understand most people have seen New Girl, and it's just a very, very...
Wait, most people have?
It's a very good show, yeah.
There's no way that most people have seen New Girl.
What does most mean? Like more than 50%?
Yeah.
And when we say see it, do we talk? Are we saying that they've seen the entire thing or that they've watched a sode?
Well, I mean, you guys put on multiple sods when we were at the Fiesta Bowl, so I've now seen a couple sods.
Yeah, but I don't think you really invested in it because you were so worried about when the Manor House was going to open.
Yeah, that's true. I was much more worried about where and how I was going to get craft beer than you guys just chilling out and watching New Girl. Like, I couldn't understand why you weren't panicked about the beer situation, and that bothered me more. So I was really in a bad place there. The whole week was a disaster.
I just thought it was going to happen on our own time, you know.
I think we should probably talk about Jake Peralta and Amy Santiago.
They're probably number one. That's a good point, Chives. I probably would have needed to go there instead of Zach and Kelly because, I mean, Zach is he's not a poser. He's just a dirtbag. The schemes, the way he takes advantage of every other cast member, and his principal and his teachers is just mind-blowing that they thought they were going to build this kids show or teen show or whatever they wanted to classify it as around this guy who was just such a terrible human being. I've watched probably every YouTube episode of Zach Morris's Trash Now, and if you guys have never seen those, they're amazing, where they break down all the hideous things that he does to his people and his harebrained schemes. And it really it changes your whole perspective on what exactly we were watching when Saved by the Bell was on the air. Although that was like 10 years before Chives was born, it's staggering that they were allowed to make that show.
But Screech deserved all of it.
That's true.
I mean,
I think Screech, man, I think he's the worst character that has ever existed on any television show.
Yeah, I'm a person who would love to argue with you about that, but there isn't an argument.
Yeah, I think that's got to be it.
Have you ever been
introduced to Ross Geller?
Have you ever been introduced to Ross Geller?
Come on, Ross is not as bad as Screech.
Oh man, Ross is kind of insufferable. See, I used to like Ross, and then I got through the entire show, and then I was like, man, he is just horrible.
Well, I think Friends would have been better off if at some point Ross fell out of the apartment window.
He should have just married Emily, moved to England, and they could have got on with the show without him.
Right. That was their out, and then they didn't take it. Like in the episode with the pivot. If the couch would have just crumbled on him and he would have fallen on the steps.
That's 3 options already that we've just come up with to write Ross off of Friends.
Well, I mean, what else do we have to do right now? Let's rewrite the whole damn thing.
Well, I mean, you're still dodging it because we're not going to take the show past the hour mark. People have other things to do with their lives. And why will you not answer? I know you filled out a Taylor Swift bracket. Why will you not answer? You and I, on every road trip, at some point, turn on the Taylor and let the miles flow by. And we've been doing that ever since we started working together. So the fact that you won't give me an answer is very disturbing.
Because I don't like it. As I've told you in private, some things are sacred, Austin. No, but the reality is I feel like there's 2 very different Taylors, and I don't think that they should all be combined into one bracket. I think that Bad Blood is probably the worst song of hers. Just for the record, I hate that song. But
that's only a first round matchup that you're talking about now.
Yeah, but I'm saying
that doesn't help me.
That song is totally terrible, right? And so it's indicative of this new Taylor that I think that you almost have to have a new Taylor bracket and an old Taylor bracket, and then put them in a battle for bracket supremacy. I don't know.
These are such terrible cop-outs.
And are her holiday songs included?
Well, they didn't make the cut. I thought the way he used, how high they charted as a way to set the seedings. Like, there was some thought put into this. So there's no way that the Christmas songs charted high enough to be on this bracket.
The best version of any Taylor Swift song is the one that you introduced me to when she does Red with Vince Gill. That's the best Taylor Swift song, best version of any song of hers.
I couldn't believe it when that just suddenly appeared as an option for me to download on Apple Music, because it was like, wow. I think Alison Krauss is on there too. Uh, that's a power trio right there. Stripping down Red. Red didn't go very far for me in my bracket. I know Chives actually had the courage to write some stuff down, and they were wrong, but he did.
Wrong?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Oh boy!
What-
Listen, if
didn't
we're
you
talking tribes
did-
and lists, we can.
Oh, that's another episode. Didn't you say you had Speak Now making a Cinderella run?
I said, and I will pull it up because I will quote myself. Speak Now is definitely the double-digit seed that could make a Final Four run if it got hot.
It wouldn't even get out of the first round against White Horse, Chives. Come on.
Yeah, White Horse is running away with that one. I'm sorry, that's a blowout.
I don't know.
And you know what? I think among the new stuff, like I think Style might be my favorite, like new Taylor Swift song.
Sure.
So I'm all over the board. It really just depends on my mood. I don't like a lot of the new stuff from the Lover album. I do like Cornelia Street. I like that song. I hate Teardrops on My Guitar. It's the first song. It's kind of whatever. You can just brush.
Oh well, that's a 14 versus 3 matchup. Should have said no.
Yeah, 14 years old almost for that one.
Should have said no was knocking out Teardrops in the first round. That's a 14 versus 3 upset. No question about it.
I think the thing we need to talk about is how terribly seeded all of this is. Like, a lot of this stuff is really badly seeded. I think we should make our own.
Well, I'm actually going to make a Lonely Island bracket that probably the three of us are the only ones that will fill out. But considering that is the true artist catalog that we know best and use primarily to get through road trips, I think that's going to be the most fascinating one of all time. But I just, maybe Birm now won't fill it out because if I don't separate the albums and the different time periods.
Lonely Island hasn't completely changed their style over the years or the direction of their music. Taylor Swift has.
So if you had a Beatles bracket, you would like.
I agree. I would. You know what? I would say the same thing. That there's the pre-drug Beatle and the post-drug Beatles, and or like hallucinogenic drugs Beatles. I would say the same thing. That you almost have to have a separate bracket.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, they don't just put together a NCAA tournament bracket. It's like, oh well, the Big Ten is over here. Or we're gonna have a special tournament for the group of 5. Like, everyone has.
Are you telling me that they don't divide the leagues by their division when it comes to college basketball? You have D1, you have D2, you have NAIA.
Are you suggesting that Taylor at some point was an NAIA artist?
I'm suggesting that she is playing. I'm suggesting that old Taylor is like the NFL playoffs, and the new Taylor is like the NBA playoffs. It's a different sport with a very similar structure.
Well, it's a different sport when Ohio State is playing a MAC school like the Bobcats, but it still counts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's some MAC hate there. Come on.
Well,
this is a friendly podcast.
We'd gone through the whole podcast without talking about the Bobcats and Frank Solich. I had to get it in before the gun.
Let's leave it on that note and let everyone know Spencer Holbrook, a.k.a. Chives, wants to build a Frank Solich statue in Athens, Ohio.
That's misinformation. Fake news.
We'll have to talk about that. That's a different episode. You have to pick a Final Four right now, Birm.
I can't do it.
Can't do it.
I can't do it. I mean,
what are we doing this? What are we going to do this podcast for if you won't even participate?
Listen, Linda. Listen. There are too many songs and too much to consider to just do that willy-nilly. So by the time we record our next Road Beers, ROW''D.
No, it's not going to be called that.
I will have a Final Four, and we can sing them all together.
This is unbelievable. All right, what are you drinking for home beers?
I have just some Kona Big Wave right now, and I also have a white chocolate ale that I've brought to you before, which is delicious. And that's what I've got for the rest of this week.
All right, I've been
I
trying.
don't have breweries up here that can deliver to me.
Yeah, I hope that they can. But although you're a 4-minute walk literally to Kroger, hopefully they're well stocked.
They are.
If you've got places that deliver in your area and you are a big fan of craft beer, keep them in business right now. I'm trying to do that as much as I can and fill up the refrigerator to maximum capacity. Our friends at Land Grant right now are doing everything possible that you could need, whether that's the tap room staying open with certain hours. You can do drive-through with them. They do delivery. Yesterday I had Seventh Son, yesterday or 2 days ago, Seventh Son delivered with the Antiques on High. They will give you a free T-shirt if you order a case with them. Got Noctera that's close to me in Columbus. Wolf's Ridge. You got a lot of options, and these people are going to be hurting just like everybody else. I know that what you do with your money is your own business, but a lot of people are going to be affected by this, and we want to keep having breweries at home and on the road where we can drink. We're going to talk a lot about beer as this show goes on, too. This one kind of got a really scattered approach. That's probably what's going to happen to all of these, but at some point, we know a lot of you have been interested with what we drink on the road, and we'll talk about places that we go in the Big Ten, places we go around the country, what we've had, recommendations. That is, if people want to actually listen to this podcast, which I guess we're going to find out, Birm.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't care if you want to listen or not. I mean, I want you to listen. I want you to listen, but I'm not, if you don't want to, that's cool too also. But, you know, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? I'm going to keep saying that over and over.
I think that's probably it. Birm is broken. We've maxed out his ability to talk for the day. So we're going to shut it down.
Chive bye. You got anything to say? Bye-bye, Chive bye. Bye-bye.
Nope,
Chive bye.
Just gonna drink my Wheat Pray Love from Mad Tree.
Nope, just gonna pet my cat. Just gonna sit here and pet my cat.
Got some Mad Tree. I love it. At least that's coming from Ohio. Hope you all stay safe. Have some road beers or whatever it is that you want to drink, and maybe make it to the end of this podcast. Let us know if there are things that you want us to talk about, or if you care at all what we're doing. We appreciate it if you made it this far, and if you've been supporting Lettermen Row and our coverage of Ohio State, we certainly appreciate that. And the next time you hear from us, we'll probably be talking about football on Lettermen Live. Until then, I am Austin Ward. Chives has been on the boards, and Jeremy Birmingham, my buddy, is up there homeschooling a couple stepchildren and trying to stay sane. We'll see you on the next episode of Road Beers. Thanks for joining us.
Toodaloo.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Lettermen Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got Buckeye IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Birm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.